Hey guys, this is WhatiF here. It's time to talk about the Cup race at Darlington. I don't even know where to start. I mean, it was just pure madness. The playoff implications, like what occurred. I mean, it was just utter just insanity from that aspect. First off, we have Chase Elliott completely just looping it, like early on in the race. Our point leader, who had just been doing great in the points all year, just has a horrendous race. Actually finished last, failed the driver vehicle policy, and yeah, he's in. I think he's 14 points to the good. I'm not positive, but that was kind of nuts. The first stage overall was kind of tame. I mean, it didn't really start off on a great note because um, before the race started, they announced that they're going to have competition yellow at like lap 25. For rain, it's like, okay, fine. That's kind of standard. But then we have a yellow for rain, and then around lap 6, they restart on lap 16. They had 11 laps of yellow. Damn. Then they had they this is where it's just stupid that you have a competition yellow, you have a yellow before that, and you still throw the competition yellow for that. It's like, well, wouldn't that one yellow before that just kind of negate that? Why break up the flow of the race again? I don't know. I don't know. That's just a weird. So another issue, like some of the yellows here and there just didn't make sense. There was instances where Cody Ware pile drove the wall. No yellow. Stenhouse hit the wall so hard that like his car lifted up off the ground. No yellow. It's like those kind of hits usually are. That's not a Darlington stripe. That's a Darlington. You smash the wall down like that. That was weird. Then there was another yellow for Cody Ware where he spun well out of the racing surface, and they threw a yellow, which that doesn't like. That's just really stupid. There's just instances where it's just like, the inconsistency of the yells still being thrown, not thrown, is all over the place. Really annoying. But besides that, the racing itself was pretty good. We had comers and goers. There was racing throughout the field. It was pretty damn rock solid. I was thoroughly entertained from beginning to end, and I didn't even realize how long the race was. It's just, when the race is good, time just flies by. There was no issues with that or anything. It was really good. Just some of the weird yellows, the playoff implications. It was kind of nuts. And then we have another issue where the issue with Harvick, his car just exploded. Apparently has something to do with the crush panel. Which, again, that's been an issue that we've seen multiple different weeks from Buschert, Indy, Logano at the end of the Indy race, and then another instance I can't remember, but it's happened way too often. Harvick was rightfully pissed, and again, as good as these cars are in terms of the racing product at like the mile and a half, Darlington's not a mile and a half, but it's pretty close to a 1.3 miles, but like the safety aspect, which I'm very tempted to make a video on just talking about that all together because NASCAR Chasm made like a good Twitter thread about all the instances of drivers mentioning that and talking about it, which yeah, it's kind of getting a little bit ridiculous. This car feels rushed because with these weird issues, and they keep being persistent throughout the year. Like you would think by race 5, 6, or 7, some of these issues would kind of get fixed. And maybe they are, but NASCAR isn't addressing it properly. Or they're just being so hush-hush about it. It's just weird. Like there's no transparency, there's no open discussion for any of it. So it makes people just kind of speculate on the safety of the cars, which isn't even much a speculation. It is a fact that they're not as safe as they once with the Gen 6 cars were. We've seen Harvick complain about it, Hamlin complain about it, multiple other different drivers complain about it. Christopher Bell, I almost say Chris Bell. Oh my god! But yeah, so it's just I just don't get it. It's just it's very disheartening with how they've approached it. And NASCAR said, and then probably one of the most bullshit things I saw in one of their tweets or something that are saying, um, basically deflecting the issues, saying, "Oh, they're crashing harder, they're crashing at rates faster than ever before." But it's like that can't be true. Like that doesn't make sense because these cars aren't even like it's a 670 horsepower car, and we've had cars in the past that had 800 horsepower, 750. Like cars are wrecked way way harder. Kurt Busch, for example, literally his entire season may potentially be over an incident that wasn't even that hard of a hit. People forget about Stenhouse at Daytona, where he literally his head hit the damn steering wheel. That's egregious. Like that should never be a thing. And especially with Suarez, his body was moving a ton in that car after that Daytona hit. Then there was like a Twitter thread where it's like people they were showing other video clips of like in-car camera crashes, and they weren't moving around in the car that much. So yeah, this car, I think, confidently and objectively, is not as safe as the Gen 6 cars. And it's a very scary concern because racing in itself is dangerous. And, when you have these issues just kind of keep popping up, I don't blame Harvick. I don't like Harvick at all, but I get it. I get the frustration. And it is a very concerning issue. And it doesn't seem like... Well, then in the broadcast, they mentioned something that they try to fix something with, like, the crush panel with, like, after the Buescher incident, which is, like, that's good, but the way they address it is so matter-of-fact and off the cuff. Like, it's not... The transparency... Brockbeard mentioned it in the stream really well. I'm trying to kind of do that. But that, again, that's, like, just one of those things. Just the racing aspect, like, of the car at this track was so good. But there's other surrounding things that are a really big concern. And it seems to be just happening week to week in varying different ways. So it just... I don't know. It's weird. And then we have the issue with Truex with the power steering. Or the water pump, it says on Racing Reference. But felt bad for him. Considering he missed the playoffs for a really stupid fucking reason. Because of how this format's structured. He basically had the car to win. And then had those issues. And then, after that happened during the caution, Kyle Busch's car, Kyle Busch took the lead from Truex's issues. And then Kyle Busch's car just ignites, just starts smoking, and he's out. It's just so bizarre. It was just chaos. The top two people that were fastest in this race just completely just exploded. In different ways. It was just insane. And then because of that, Eric Jones took the lead on that final restart and was able to hold off Hamlin and ends up winning. I just cannot believe how things have played out. And especially over the years, I've definitely appreciated Eric Jones a lot more. And I never thought he was going to be in a position to win ever again after leaving Gibbs. And it wasn't like he left Gibbs not really in his own terms. He just kind of got booted. And I don't know what Gibbs thought. Like, Jones was Kenseth's replacement. It's like, there's no way he's going to live up to Kenseth's, like, performance. I can't even say Kenseth, like, with an apostrophe S because I suck. But, like, yeah, I just never thought he would be in this kind of position. But he's been running well this year, especially with these Gen 7 cars and how it's kind of leveled the playing field a little bit. So you can have, he had a great run at Auto Club. People may have forgotten about that, but I didn't. Like he's had races where he's just ran top 10. And this race was one of them. He was running top 10, top 5 one point, and he just kind of got in the right position. It was just great. It was great to see him make this comeback. I think a lot of people might have just kind of wrote him off. And I'm always up for a person making a comeback. And that was one of them. It was an extremely feel-good story. I couldn't be happier for him. And it was just, very seldomly do I get that feeling where I just get so much joy from watching someone win. It only really happens with Truex or Kurt. I guess Eric Jones would be part of that now too, but it was really nice. And if I had to give this race a rating, it'd probably be an 8.5. I usually don't give like half decimal ratings, but I feel like this one's probably one of those exceptions for me. Because like the racing aspect, the cars, like it was really good. The only problem is some of the safety concerns still linger, the inconsistency of the yellows, and also just the possibility of Chase Elliott. I mean, it'll be funny, though it might be a good thing. Maybe I should hope for this to happen, for Chase Elliott to miss the round of 16, just so it shows just how ridiculous this format is. And if it doesn't benefit Chase, then maybe this could be a way to get out of this and maybe go back to the 10 race OG playoff Chase format thing. That would be nice. But, I don't know. But it's just, yeah. Because, I mean, if there was just full season points, Chase would still have a 91-point lead, so about a race and a half lead. But then Logano would be second. That's not... God, nobody wins in that situation. Also, the NASCAR documentary thing came out. Can I go on a Logano rant? This is like a different segment. I'm getting myself situated in my chair because I'm gonna get a little ranty. I really the only thing I just have to mention since I've mentioned about Logano, but Logano is one just stupid parent. It was mentioned on Twitter and in the documentary like episode on USA. Logano's like phone, he in like his contacts on his phone for like his wife, he has it named as his hot ass wife. It's like that's funny. But then when you're like in the car and you're like, hey Siri, call my hot ass wife, and it's like, haha. But it's like when you have a kid there, it just kind of doesn't feel right. I don't know. It's just like you shouldn't be teaching your kids to indirectly say. It's like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird. It's one thing to have it that in your context, but then when you have to, verbally say something to your phone or Bluetooth or whatever in the car, and then that's what you have to say in the kid. It's just awkward. It's just weird. Add it to just like, it's amazing. It's just amazing. It's just so bizarre. I wouldn't even have an issue, but it's just Logano doing bizarre, weird shit. Weirder than Hamlin and his conspiracy, like, stuff. So that was just weird. But I don't know why I'm going on tangent, but this race was good. It had some problems. First stage was, for the most part, kind of uneventful, but it built up as it went on. And it was really solid. I think they definitely got to address these safety issues, because this is getting just egregious with all this stuff. Just week after week. I mean, Hamlin was still sore from Daytona. Who knows what other issues or pain drivers are having that isn't publicized from these crashes. It's just getting a little ridiculous. And I don't blame Harvick for being pissed off about it. And Brock Beard mentioned this in his video, in his stream, but Harvick's career, like, he was, he got into the 29. He went to the Cup Series a year early because of a driver fatality or driver injury and all that sort of stuff. Like, he, like, firsthand kind of knows and understands, like, you know, the dangers of racing. Like, he's one of the most senior people in the field nowadays. It'll be kind of a toss up between Kurt and Harvick, but Harvick is the oldest one in the field. So I feel like if he's having an issue, or I feel like his voice should be heard the most because he's, you know, the most experienced one in the field, or the one that's been racing in the Cup Series the absolute longest. So I don't know. They got to address these issues. They can't just not ignore it. They can't just make tweets saying, "Oh, the cars are hitting at, like, the cars are wrecking faster than ever before," and all that's. It's just like a really bullshit tweet. It's just such a lie. It just doesn't look right. Just like the level of deflecting just doesn't look good. But either way, the race was solid. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Very, very content with it in terms of the on-track racing product. And yeah, kind of a wild race with so many different drivers having issues. I'm kind of rooting for Chase Elliott to miss the first round just to show how dumb the format is, because, you know, one race can destroy it. But, you know, he's got a lot of points built up, so he might be okay. But I don't know. Larson's kind of in trouble, so sort of. I don't know, but I don't know what else to say. I guess I'll do it for me. I kind of rambled on for too long, but yeah, that'll do it for me. I'll see you all later. As always, have a good day, everyone.